I'm feeling the heat too, man. Feeling the heat too. Be careful, the elders behind the door too, okay? It's okay, you didn't do nothing wrong. Just letting you know the elders behind the door, so we want to watch out for him. All right. The boys get to the back. Shot. Yashar? Yo, be careful. Yo, I just hope we don't see him get hit no more, man. Oh, it's a car. Oh, it's a car. Did it? He's like, I'm gonna fix it, eh? I'll fix anything. Shasha car. Go. He's right here. Well, no, he's not. I'm going off. I looked over. Whoa.
Anthony, is Mercy going there? No, here she goes.
Cardiac, come on. Come on. All right, so we're going to send out these prayers, supplication, all right, towards Yahweh's holy temple, Chaadash Shalam, which we know right now is been raised to the foundation thereof. But our great King and our Master, Yahushua, will be coming back and delivering us, bringing us back and bringing our home with him. Khan? All right, we'll follow the lead of Zaquan. Yahushua? Blessed are you, Yahweh. Blessed are you, Yahushua. Water from Yah. Amen. Shemai. Yasharahla. Yahweh. Allahayanawa. Yahweh. Hapta. Yahweh. Allahayaka. Babko. Babka. Wabako. Napashka. Wabako. Ma'aka.
Hear, O Israel, thy Lord thy God is one, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy might. Bashem. Yahushai. Mashiach. Amen.
Amen. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwatka, Saba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Barataza, Kahaya, Natananawa, Lacham, Cho, Yawam, Wasalachnawa, Kabawatnawa, Kasalachnawa, Kabawatnawa, Wala'ah, Tabiyanawa, Manasayawan, Amo, Awashaynawa, Rai, Kaya, Luka, Malakwatka, Waha'Allah, Wahathaparaf, Wahalamyam, Basham, Yahushai, Mashiach. Amen. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. By Hashem, Yahushua, HaMashiach. Amen.
Song of Degrees. I lift up my eyes to the hills from which cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Yasharahla shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Hallelujah.
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 Hallelujah. Hashem, Yahushua, HaMashiach. Amen.
Song for Shabbat Yawam. It is a good thing to give thanks unto Yahweh and to sing praises unto thy name, O Most High. Show forth thy loving kindness in the morning and thy faithfulness every night. Upon an instrument of 10 strings, upon a psaltery, upon a harp with a solemn sound. Thou, Yahweh, hast made me glad through thy works. I will triumph in the works of thy hands. O Yahweh, how great are thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep. The brutish man knoweth not, neither do the fool understand this. And the wicked spring is the grass, and when all workers of iniquity do flourish, is that they shall be destroyed forever. But thou, Yahweh, art most high forevermore. For lo thy enemies, O Yahweh, for lo thy enemies shall perish. All workers of iniquity shall be scattered. My horn shall then exalt like the horn of a unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. My eyes shall see my desire of my enemies. My ears shall hear the desire of the wicked that rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. It shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of Yahweh shall flourish in the courts of Allah. They shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourishing. To show that Yahweh is upright, here is my rock, and there is no righteousness in him. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hashem, Yahushua, HaMashiach. Amen. You don't see that top cat in front of your house, right? No? There was a I mean, that's not really that's actually not ready. But I thought there was a big one.
Okay, this black one here. I mean,
That one, con, that one. That one. What? Yabaraka, Yahweh, Wayashamarka, Yahweh, Yasha'ar Yahweh, Panyawa Alyaka, Wayachanka, Laka Shalom, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barak Rapar, Gabar, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barak Rapar, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barak Rapar, Ratazaya, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakrapar, Yatar, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakrapar, Yeshaya, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakrapar, Emmanuel, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakrapar, Mazamaya, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakrapar, Shashanaya, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakrapar, Banyam Yan. We gotta get back on beat, y'all. Okay. Ready? Okay, here we go. Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakrapar, Yeshaya, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakrapar, Hezekiah, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakrapar, Shiloh, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakrapar, Genesis, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakrapar, Sarah, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakrapar, Shaddai, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakrapar, Araya, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakrapar, Lamadya, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakrapar, Malak Magabar, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakrapar, Zakaria, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakrapar, Yesharia, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakrapar. Say your name. Zai, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakrapar, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakrapar. And y'all keep having any other brothers? Any more little brothers? Bahasham, Keenan? Where Keenan? Yahweh Shai, Barakrapar, Yasharahla, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, All right, so if you need a if you need assistance, all right, let's go ahead and shop, sit. If any of the sisters wanted to sit in and learn, it's completely fine. All right. Remember, it is Kodash. It is New Moon. Today is a feast day, so it is okay to enjoy yourselves. It's okay to listen to music. It is okay to cook. All right. It is not okay to work. It is not okay to cause others to work. So if there's any daughters that wanted to sit in, then that's completely fine. What you got? Atahalak? Okay, Tawada. All right, Tawada. All right. Chaadash Shalam. All praise. Hallelujah. All right, let's get it started. First, let's look at some topics, some scriptures, some talk. Are these your glasses? Whose glasses are these? Whose glasses are these? Whose glasses are these? If y'all sit in, that's fine. Come on in, sit down. All right. Whose glasses are these? Whose glasses? Hard. Yo, whose glasses these? I'm trying to. Man, these mugs is hard. I'm telling you, somebody better say something. If I can see out of them, it's over with. All right. So I know that. Here, let me scoot down. Hey, Judith, Yahweh, Shalom, Chaadash Shalam, Chaadash Shalam, Chaadash Shalam, Chaadash Shalam, Chaadash Shalam, Chaadash Shalam, Chaadash Shalam. All right. Everybody got a seat. All right, we kosher. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, first things first. Let's do a little talk about the Chaadash. What is the Chaadash? Anybody? Bring it out. Oh, it's new moon. All right.
It's the beginning of the new month.
Beginning of the new month. New moon. Beginning of the new month. All right. Why is Chaadash important to us? Why is Chaadash important to the children of Israel?
It's a holy day.
It's a high holy day. Chaadash is a high holy day. Anybody got anything else you want to bring out?
It also sets the tone for the rest of the feast days.
It sets the tone for the rest of the feast days. If you need more room, Chaadash, you can sit over here if you need more room. All right. Natazar, if you need more room, you can sit over here, huh? Yeah, there's room right here, and then there's room over here. All right. So we had the Zaquani, we had the elders earlier to do a prayer, and every Shabbat day, every new moon, we have to remind ourselves and remind others that every Chaadash, our community, has a prayer line that we get on. And if you're not, you're in the group, right? The Mashpakawa group? Yeah, come. Okay, I need you to say something, please. You got to say something right now. Shalom. Yeah, Shashikar out. All right, so every new moon, we have a Chaadash prayer that happens at noon, every new moon. Now, our community does not celebrate full moon as new moon. Our community does not celebrate waxing crescent as new moon. Our community celebrates what phase?
The dark moon.
The dark moon? What's the name for the dark moon? Any names for it? Isn't that a good question? What's the names for what we call the dark moon? Lunar conjunction?
Can you speak louder for the class?
Inferior. He's saying inferior. He's trying to tell you inferior.
Speak up, Bob. Speak up, Zaquan.
Bring it out, brother. Speak up, brother. Bring it out, brother. Speak up, brother. So our community does not celebrate full moon as new moon. We don't celebrate waxing crescent as new moon. We celebrate what's known as the dark moon as the time frame of new moon. Another name for the dark moon is inferior conjunction. All right, why? Because the inferior constellation is now the word conjunction, like conjunction, junction. What's your function? All right, some of y'all might not know that, but it was an old school show. Conjunction, junction. What's your function? I'm showing my age.
Squad. I just looked at my room.
No, it was man. I know. Who? Schoolhouse Rock. Yeah. Yeah, old soul right there. All right. Conjunction, junction. What's your function? So conjunction means for something to be lined up. Like right now, you and I are in conjunction. If somebody was sitting behind you, I wouldn't be able to see them. Why? Because I'm the earth, you're the moon, they're the sun, and now you're blocking the light of the sun, which would be behind you. So that's what inferior conjunction means. But everybody, I want y'all to write this terminology down too. And then Yahushai, Qam Yasharahla, we're gonna go into events that happened to us on this month that we're in with this 11th month. All right. So write this down if you got a pen. Write down this terminology, this phrase: Interlinear Interlinear. Who has? Does anybody have the other, the black version of this? Can I see it? All right.
LIV.
What was it?
It's called INTERLUNIUM. I'm going to type that in. Yeah, the brother said reading rainbow, right? So conjunction, junction, what's your function? The brother said reading rainbow, right? All right. So write this down. The opposite of interlunium is plenilunium. PLENIU. Wait, I'm so sorry, y'all. Let me start over. What, son? What, the son of my womb? And what, the son of my covenant? It is not good, prince. It is not good for kings. I don't want your sticky candy. I want you. You my bond. I want you. I don't want your sticky candy. You want you got carpet dust and everything on it. Man, somebody's fingernails in the other thing. Baby's candy. Babies is icky. You don't ever eat a baby's candy, man. They done rubbed it all on the floor, on the side of their pants leg, and they want to come and give it to you. PLE. Now you're laughing at me. PLENILUNIUM. That's called plenilunium. You want me to spell it again? I'll spell it 1,000 times. PLENILUNIUM. Plenty, like plenty, plenilunium. Now, the lunium is the word for luminary or light. The plenty part means plenty of light. So plenilunium is the word for full moon. The opposite of full moon is new moon. This is why we do not celebrate the waxing crescent phase, because that puts things off. That's offset. All right. Interlunium is the name for new moon. Interplenty. INTERLUNIUM. You are the only baby that punches. I don't want. You already gave me one. I'm cool. It's water. You want? I'll bring another one. Water. So interlunium and plenilunium. Now I'm gonna read an excerpt, and this book is from Isidore of Seville's. The book is called Etymologies. Isidore of Seville's Etymologies. This is book number 3, section 54. The first section is called Shapes of the Moon. And then the second section is called Interlinear Period. Interlinear is another name for new moon. Why? Because it's between two phases. It's in between waxing crescent and waning crescent. All right. This excerpt says, the first shape of the moon is double horn. The second is cleft. The third half, the fourth full. The fifth, again, half of the larger. The sixth, again, cleft. The seventh, double horn. The 7th and 22nd are the middle of the orbit, and the others are in proportion. The interlunium is the time between the waning and waxing moon. What does that mean? The interlunium is the time in between the waning and waxing moon.
The new moon, the darkness of the dark moon.
Is when?
In between the waning and the waxing.
So what would that look like? If the interlunium moon is in between the waning and the waxing, what does that look like? Visualize, like visually, what does that look like? Dark. But what would the constellation, like what would the moon symbols look like? They just named off 3 different symbols. What would they look like?
What's the question?
Yeah, sure. So
Crescent on the left, crescent on the right, in between there would be a dark moon.
So there'll be a crescent on the left and a crescent on the right. Now, if we were writing, that would look like a parenthesis. So the new moon, the interlunar moon, sits between 2 parentheses. The full moon sits between 2 parentheses. Waxing crescent, waning crescent. Waxing gibbous, waning gibbous. Full moon in the middle, plenilunium. You come straight down and you have interlunium. So listen to what it says, to what he says. The interlunium is the time between the waning and the waxing moon. It is the 30th day. How many days in a month that we have primarily? It's 29 and then sometimes 30. But here's the thing though. Whenever we go outside, us being Yaladim and Yasharahla, especially Issachar, you should know this because Issachar were known for being able to keep time. All right. So if you don't have it, you might have it. If you don't have it yet, step your game up. If you don't have the laws yet, Levi, step your game up. Con? All right. Jude is the lawgiver. All right. Reuben's the big brother. Okay. So with that being said, I'm sorry. Reuben's the excellency. Okay. Con. Yeah, Con. Okay. All right. Boiling over, right? All right. Shalom, Heavy Chevy. Shalom, family members. Okay. So again, whenever we see full moon, how many day old moon is that? 15 days. Whenever you see full moon, like even if we go all throughout all month, and finally we be like, oh, hey, look how bright the big moon is. Now you know automatically you are on the 15th day of the month. There's no way around it. From the 15th day of the month, new moon, how many more days until you get to, full moon? From the 15th day, full moon, how many days till you get to new moon? 15. 14, 15. So from now, if you miss waxing crescent, what's the next one? First quarter. Waxing gibbous. If you miss those different phases, about time you see full moon in her beauty, her bright glory, from right there on that day, start counting every day, 14, 13, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. And that's going to bring you around to the time frame of the inferior conjunction. All right. So where's my sword at? All right. Now, did the Most High make things uneven? No, he did not. Is the Most High the author of confusion? All right, let's go to the book of Sirach, everybody. All right. And then I'm going to be very brief, and I'm going to pass it over to I'm going to pass it over to Yahawashi once. All right, so we're going to go to Sirach, and now this is going to sound a little bit something, different, but by now y'all should be used to hearing me say different stuff. Okay, so this is going to sound a little bit different. Let's go to the book of Sirach, and let's go to hold on. You a cold cookie, brother. You a cold cookie. You a cold piece of work, brother. Sirach chapter 43. All right. So let's do Sirach chapter 33 and 15. Let's start with 33, and let's start at verse 14. All right, whoever got that.
Is the book of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 14.
Right.
Good is set against evil.
So you have positive against negative, good against bad. You have male, you have female. I'm not saying one is bad, one's good, but the point to say this is that if you say again, balance. If you ever wanted to incorporate the yin yang symbol, which is not a Japanese symbol, that's actually artifacts of Hebrews having that, even in Japan. So when brothers talk about the war against the sons of light, against the sons of darkness, it's always that balance. That's the point. Why am I talking about this? Because if you got full moon that's bright, you got to have a dark moon. That's the point. That balance. You can't go from a bright moon and then say, well, now we're going to start over here when she's crescent. Don't act like you're going to skip this whole phase. You got to acknowledge the inferior conjunction. Read that chapter, book, and verse again.
The book of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 14. Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly.
So the Most High made that balance. He made all things even. All right. Now come over one more book. Go to chapter 39, verse 21. Chapter 39 and verse 21. Yeah, that's great. No, yeah, okay, yeah, that's great. Man, this is perfect. All right, everybody familiar with this chart? Everybody familiar with this chart? People over there, can you see it? Con? Issachar, you familiar with this? That's an excellent answer. What about you? Familiar with this? All right, so this is perfect. So, and everybody that's watching on online. All right, so you have full moon, and directly across from full moon, you have interlunar conjunction. All right, you have inferior conjunction. I mixed up interlunar. You have inferior conjunction and you have full moon. So the Most High set each one against each other. Even when you have waxing crescent and waning crescent, even you have waxing gibbous and waning crescent, even when you have a third quarter and first quarter, all of these phases are even. How many lunar phases is it? 8. It's 8 lunar phases. Anytime somebody wants to try to convince you, I have to hold it like this because the glare from the cameras is, I want the people online to see. Anytime that somebody wants to convince you that you go from here and you come around and you skip this phase and you go straight over here, they're telling you to go diagonal like that. That's wrong. That you're telling you to ignore a whole phase. That's why we read that first definition, which is called the interlinear period. And it says the interlinear period is the time between waning and waxing moon. It is the 30th day when the moon does not shine. It cannot be seen because it is obscured by the conjunction with the sun. Gradually waxing again, it recedes from the sun and is seen. So when I ask people, what's the name of the dark phase? We don't know the name of the phase. But if you look up this word, you're going to find it everywhere. It's just been like, it just hasn't been presented to us, but now we have it. So the terminology is called interlunar, all right? Interlunar moon, which is before waxing crescent. It exists, it's real. So if there's a baby in the belly, does the baby have to come out for the baby to be there? It doesn't. But that's the argument that you have some brothers saying that new moon is new moon because you can first see the waxing of the crowning of the head when the baby first come out. The baby been there the whole time. The baby been covered up. The baby's been concealed. Another word for interlunar is called silent moon. That's another word, another phrase, silent moon. Now watch this. The Most High made everything. Yeah, please look at that, and everybody write these down and memorize these phases.
So waxing is the first phase.
Yeah, waxing is the first phase. Interlunar or inferior conjunction is the very last phase going into. All right. Now watch this though, and we learned this from Elder Parazah. Does new moon have a crescent? The answer to the question is it does. New moon starts off being completely dark, and as she grows, she gradually gets a very small crescent until she goes into the phase of waxing crescent. And then from waxing crescent, she has her own name. She has her own name, her own phase, and then she gets bigger until she goes into first quarter. First quarter has 2 or 3 days of itself. So new moon has a couple days of being no light until it goes into gradually being seen. From gradually being seen, now it's recognizable waxing crescent. And then it goes, well, now she's not as crescent anymore, she's kind of halfway. So even though, can I see this, please? Even though this chart is wonderfully descriptive, everybody needs to know that each one of these phases has a certain number of days that they're in. Like it's not waxing crescent and then it switches over. Just like I'm not 40, and then I automatically now I'm 60. I have to go through the time frames. All right. All right. So what's the next scripture we said?
The book of Sirach, chapter 39, verse 21.
Sirach, chapter 39, verse 21. Everybody make sure they get that. Sirach, chapter 39, verse 21. Everybody got that? All right. Quara Baba Kusha.
A man need not to say, what is this? Wherefore is that? For he hath made all things for their uses.
The Most High made everything for its uses. So don't let nobody tell you because you can't see the time frame of when the moon is in inferior conjunction, new moon, interlunar, that it doesn't count. The Most High made all things for its purpose. I'm sorry, Prince. I'm sorry. All right, go ahead. It's okay. Go ahead, bring it out.
Verse 22. His blessing covered the dry land as a river and watered it as a flood.
So the Most High made everything for its purpose and for its reason. Last scripture on this subject. Go to the book of Sirach. No, I don't want you to do that right now. Hold on, Bond. Sirach chapter 42. And we're going to go to verse 22. Sirach 42 and verse 22. And this is going to be our last verse. And the purpose of showing this is to show, just like we have this chart, which everybody, should nobody in this room not have the lunar phases not memorized. That isn't a personal, it's okay. Because I didn't have memorized either. I didn't have memorized. You know what Parmesan did? He walked me outside and started showing me the moon. He walked me outside and started pointing it to me all the time. Or he randomly asked me, what phase is that? What's the phase before that? So you got to learn this. Write them down. Look at them, okay? All right, so go ahead. Sirach chapter 42 and verse 22. We're going to read 22 to 25.
Go on. Oh, how desirable are all his works.
Oh, how desirable are all the Most High's works. This even includes the phase of the moon when you can't see her. She's desirable too. We wait for her. Go ahead.
And that a man may see even to a spark. All these things live and remain forever and for all uses.
So stop. So that a man may even see from when it goes from no light to a spark. Right? All these things live and remain forever for all uses. And they are what?
And they are all obedient.
They are all obedient. So the lunar phase of having no light to going gradually light to being bright to going all the way back down to having no light again, even that phase has its purpose. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 24. All things are double.
Stop. All things are yin yang. Read that again.
All things are double.
All things are even. Read that again.
All things are double.
All things are balanced.
All things are double.
Good and evil.
All things are double.
Man and woman.
All things are
light
double.
and dark.
All things are double.
White and black.
All things are double.
See? I'm sorry, new moon, dark, full moon, bright. All things are doubled. So nobody should ever say full moon is right here. Let's keep new moon over at this angle. No, it's over here, over here, over here, over here, over here, over here. Boom, boom. See, all things are doubled. I'm sorry, bro.
So the doctrine, they be saying this is new moon, right?
No, well, so there are certain communities that say that this is new moon, and we'll show you why, because they misunderstand the scriptures. Get Psalms chapter 81. No, you culture. Y'all two get Psalms 81. Get ready. Go ahead.
Say that's new moon.
Some say this is new moon, but the primarily of the Israelites that don't keep this phase where all you gotta do is Google it. It shows you what new moon is, and you're not gonna find very many images. But we're gonna prove to you outside of Google why it's this phase opposed to waxing crescent. But go ahead, brother. So you was asking?
If they say this is new moon, then what do they say full moon is?
I have no idea. That's great. That's a great question. That's a great question. All right, let's finish reading that. Let's finish reading that. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Verse 24.
Right?
All things are double.
All things are doubled.
One against another.
One against another.
And he hath made nothing imperfect.
He hath made nothing what?
Imperfect.
The Most High has made nothing unperfect. So when I say yin yang, yeah. When I say male or female, yeah. He made all things double. You better believe that there's an opposite side of everything. Positive and negative. Yahweh made it. Good, evil, good angel, evil angel. Paradise, Sheol. Waters, heavens. He made all things double, right? He made, verse 24, all things are doubled, one against another, and he hath made nothing unperfect. Go ahead.
25. One thing establisheth the good or another.
No, read that again.
One thing establisheth.
It's okay.
one thing established if the good or another.
No, it says of. The good of another.
Yeah, this app going on.
It's okay. It says, does everybody's Bible say one thing establish the good of another? Yeah, so it should say all things establish the good of another. All right. You can't have summer without what?
Winter.
You can't do it. So Yahweh made all things perfect. He said all things one against another. And they all have their uses for all times. So we are not going to ignore the fact that there's a whole phase that back in the 1600s, before the 1600s, because he was 3rd century. But back then, Isidore of Seville and other authors, they wrote the word interlunar. They didn't say new moon, they said interlunar, because they were saying that this is the phase in between two other lunar phases. And this phase is directly up under full moon. One thing establishes the good of another, and he hath made, and who shall be filled with beholding his glory. All right. Now let's go to the book of Psalms chapter 81. Psalms chapter 81, and I'm going to start to wind it down from here. Now there's so many new moon scriptures. We know that King David hid out into the field during new moon. He wouldn't have hid when there was light. He was a military tactician. He hid when it was dark. And then when you read the rest of the story, it even shows you. Is that a mouse pad to your phone?
No.
Oh, I thought that was like a yeah. It looked like a portable mouse. That would be fire though. We should invent that, like a portable mouse that plugs up. You know, and then you can. I don't want you write on me, baby boo. I got enough writing on me. Don't write on Abba. So Malak Dawad, King David, did not hide out when it was light. He hid when it was darkness. All right. And then when you read the rest of that chapter, you see that it was how many days was that feast? How many days was the feast?
So can you ask what feast?
Yeah, get that scripture out. You got that? As it was the 1 Kings or 2 Kings 19. It's either 1 Kings 19 or 2 Kings 9, 19 and 20. All right. I don't want you to know. I'm not gonna move my hand, so stop hitting me. All right. Yeah, David hiding out during new moon.
1
Samuel.
1 Samuel chapter 20 and verse 18.
Throughout it. 1 Samuel 20 and 18. You don't got permission around this part. 1 Samuel chapter 20 and 18. All right. So Psalms chapter 81 blatantly tells us that new moon is when the moon is, the word is kasah. Kasah means covered, like a throne, like if you have a garment over our body. We are all kasah. All right. If you take a chair, the chair is just sitting there. But if you put your bum on it, now the chair is covered. You take your garment, you put a garment over your body. Now you are covered. You're a kasah. All right. It doesn't say covered with light. It literally says covered with darkness. All right. Jusinius, when he describes it, he says, I have never seen this referred to as light. So there's two words, and people get confused because one word is kasa'ah and the other word is kasah. When you look up the word kasa'ah tells you go look at the word kasah. And kasah is the root word. Say again?
It was the root word.
Yeah, and kasah is the root word. So that's the word that we use whenever we're looking at Psalms 81. What you got? What you got?
We sat down and meet with Jonathan.
Yeah, Khan. Okay, let's bring that out.
We want to read 18 or just 19?
Let's start at 18. But we're going to read down a few bars more.
Okay. It says, then Jonathan said to Dawad, tomorrow is the new moon.
Jonathan said, wait. Read that again.
Then Jonathan said to Dawad, tomorrow is the new moon.
When is new moon?
Tomorrow.
So to know when tomorrow is new moon, you got to know these right here. You got to be able to look at the sky and say, that's waning crescent. What does waning mean? What does waxing mean? Go ahead.
Waning means like depleting.
Waning means depleting. So when the moon is in the phase, when she's waning, when she's depleting, she's gaining light or she's losing light? She's losing light. So the end all be all of new moon is when we see no light. So when she's going through her waning phase, this means King David understood this. And it's easy for us to do. That's why I said, when you see the moon in full moon phase, start counting down. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. When you get to 5, 4, 3, you're in waning crescent. When you get to that number, you're in waning crescent. And then all you got to do is count 2 more days and you won't be able to see the moon. So we were able, Jonathan, David, we were able to tell when new moon would be because we knew how to count down looking at the moon. Go ahead.
Tomorrow is a new moon, and thou shalt be missed, because thy seat will be empty. And when thou hast stayed 3 days.
Stop. Go ahead. Bring it out. Go ahead. No, go ahead, please. I need you. All right, go ahead. Awkward. So King David and Jonathan understood that new moon was coming. So it's about to be dark. You're going to be missed at dinner tomorrow at the new moon feast, which is what we're doing now. So this even shows us the kings. We celebrated, we kept new moon, we feasted together as a family. Now, how many days it would say?
When thou hast stayed 3 days.
How many days?
3 days.
3 days. So when you get to that marker of we know the moon is dark, about time the 3rd day comes, guess what phase you're going to start to see? Waxing crescent. Waxing crescent. And by the time it's 3 days, the brothers that are keeping waxing crescent, they 3 days too late. You 3 days too late. I don't care what none of them say. You're late. I don't care if you're a huffy puffy elder. I don't care if you're my brother. I don't care. Because when I read this scripture, it blatantly shows us that there's a time frame that the feast was kept. Because David went to this feast on multiple days. Well, excuse me. He was expected to be there on multiple days. And during these phases, the moon was still into interlunar phase, lunar conjunction. She was still doing a dark moon phase. 3 days after, you start to receive light. Now she's going into waxing crescent. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No, really, does it? I mean, do it really? Okay, kind of. Okay, go ahead, read on.
Thou stayed 3 days. Then thou shalt go down quickly and come to the place where thou didst hide thyself when the business was in hand.
Go ahead.
And it shall remain by the stone Ezel. Verse 20. And I will shoot 3 arrows on the side thereof, as though I shot at a mark. Verse 21. And behold, I will send a lad, saying, Go, find out the arrow. If I expressly say unto the lad, Behold, the arrows are on the side of thee, take them, then come thou, for there is peace to thee, and no hurt, as Yahweh liveth. Right.
Now, does everybody understand what's going on here? Because we're not going to interrupt until it gets to the dinner part. That's what we're reading down until we get to the dinner part. Go ahead.
It says, verse 22, but if I say thus unto the young man, Behold, the arrows are beyond thee, go thy way, for Yahweh hath sent thee away. Verse 23, and as touching the matter which thou and I have spoken of, behold, Yahweh be between thee and me forever. So Dawad hid himself in the field, and when the new moon was come.
So that's the next day, because he said new moon is tomorrow. So Dawad stayed in the field until the next day when new moon come. Now, they were already out there at nighttime. Go ahead.
And when the new moon was come, the king sat him down to eat meat. And the king sat upon his seat, as at other times, even upon a seat by the wall.
So as at other times, which means this was a regular feasting occasion. So when new moon came, king had his back up against the wall. All right. Everybody was expecting to join and gather together during this time frame. Who was the only person that was missing? Dawad. Go ahead.
And Jonathan arose, and Abner sat by Saul's side, and Dawad's place was empty. Nevertheless, Saul spake not anything that day, for he thought something had befallen him. He is not clean. Surely he is not clean.
So the king didn't trip. He was like, okay, well, maybe he didn't show up for the first day of new moon because he's Tama'ah, because he's unclean. All right, now let's see what happens. Go ahead.
Verse 27.
Just showing again that we didn't gather on if you were unclean, you were set apart.
Excellent,
Just
excellent.
showing, a lot of brothers out there teach that, you can come to a feast, you can come to a holy gathering, Tama'ah, are unclean. That's not true. Showing our culture.
That's right. Excellent. Go. Excellent.
Verse 27. And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the second day of the month, that the Dawad's place was empty.
Everybody see that? Everybody see that? What did it say? What did it say?
On the second day of the month, the Dawad's place was empty.
On the morrow, on the second day of the month.
So that was to show that the new moon was the first day of the month, and the next day was like the second time.
And to show also that they gathered during this time frame. So it wasn't just 1 day time frame, because even in the beginning of it, David said, Jonathan was like, you'll be gone 3 days. So this feast in this specific, so they didn't sit down and eat regular all the time. David had his own family. This was during new moon, but he was expected to gather with the king. So even on the second day of new moon, when they gathered together, they said, wait a minute, what happened? Go ahead.
Dawad's place was empty, and Saul said unto Jonathan, his son, wherefore cometh not the son of Jesse to me, neither yesterday nor today? And Jonathan answered Saul, Dawad earnestly asked leave of me to go to Bethlehem. Verse 29. And he said, let me go, I pray thee, for our family hath sacrificed in the city, and my brother, he hath commanded me to be there. And now, if I have found favor in thine eyes.
Now this whole thing that Jonathan's saying is a lie, okay? He's standing there bold-faced lying to his father, so everybody understand that. All right.
Because his father was trying to kill David.
Right.
So it says, let me get away, I pray thee, and see my brethren. Therefore he cometh not unto the king's table. Then Saul anger was kindled against Jonathan, and he said unto him, thou son of the...
He cussed his son out. He cussed him out. You son of a Benjamite. Go ahead.
Thou son of the perverse, rebellious woman. Do not I know that thou hast chosen the son of Jesse to thine own confusion, and unto the confusion of thy mother's nakedness? For as long as the son of Jesse liveth upon the ground, thou shalt not be established.
Stop right there. So how long did this feast last?
Only 2 days.
It's only 2 days. It's documented as being 2 days. In the beginning of it, he said you're going to be gone for 3 days. All right. And it started at the time frame when the interlunar or the dark moon phase was. Now, I want to pull this up real quick. I want everybody to, if you can, look at this. All right. This will be very helpful. Okay. Go ahead.
Each moon phase have the same amount of days?
No, each moon phase did not have the same amount of days. That's an excellent question. Each moon phase does not have the same amount of days. All right. All right. So once you get this word interlinear and you start looking it up, you're going to come and find some very interesting information. Okay. So this website right here is mobot.org. All right. Grammatical Dictionary of Botanical Latin. All right. So the word moon is luna. All right. Luna crescens or crescents. It means the growing or increasing, i.e. crescent moon. Luna decrescens. All right. Or it says its or decrescence. The decreasing or waning moon. Orbita lunae. It means the circle or the circuit of the moon in orbit. Now look at this. New moon. What's the word right here? Can everybody see that?
Interlunium.
Look at that. Interlunium. See? Huh?
Every time you do that, I was like, that's fire.
So interlunium. So interlunium moon, it says interlunation, the interlinear period, a period of darkness or blankness. The new moon, time of the new moon, interlinear interval. You see that? Now, here go another word. Write this word down. NOV. And these are going to help y'all when y'all research and study. So when they come at you talking about it's a crescent, like, nah, well, let me show you this. Have you ever researched this? Have you ever researched to where it's, you know, to where we can actually prove that these words mean that the moon is dark? NOVILUNIUM. Novalunium. Novalunium. All right. So the first definition, definition 1, interlunium. It says what? Interlunation, the interlinear period, a period of darkness or what? Or blankness. Now, why is this important to research this? Because it's the same thing that we're going to see when we go to Psalms 81. Okay, look, the new moon, time of the new moon, interlinear interval. All right, Novalunium. It says what? Novalunium, the new moon, the thin crescent moon seen in the western sky, evening sky. Excuse me, let me read that again. The thin crescent moon seen in the western sky, evening shortly after sunset, a few days after the actual occurrence of the what? So it tells you that that when you see that crescent, that's after new moon. That's waxing crescent. It's waxing crescent. So yeah, Novalunium. So Novalunium, the new moon, the thin crescent moon seen in the western sky evening sky shortly after sunset, a few days after, which was what we just read. How many days you gonna be gone? 3 days. The dinner happened 2 days. So a few days later, you see that waxing crescent light. You're like, oh man, well, new moon was 2 days ago. Do it sound like I'm leading this or I made this up? If it do, let me know. Do it sound like I'm making this up? I'm not trying to guide the conversation or nothing. This is the information that's been brought forth that we need to know because when we tell somebody that we new moon, that new moon is when you can't see the moon is dark. If somebody say to you, well, that doesn't apply because we the children of the light. Yeah, huh? What do you mean? You mean to tell me we the children of the new moon? Or we the children of the waxing crescent moon? That phrase doesn't even match up with the moon. It ain't got nothing to do with the moon. It's got to do with what? What? It's got to do with
being sons of light, the law.
It's got to do with us being the sons of light.
Right.
And then when you read Judean Discovery Scrolls, it talks about the war against the sons of the light, against the sons of darkness. So if anybody says to you, well, no, we don't keep that moon, I got to try so hard to say it in a regular tone. I don't want to be like, well, nah, we're not. So if anybody says to you, we don't keep the interlunar or the dark phase because we're the children of the light, that don't got nothing to do, that phrase don't got nothing to do with the moon. It's got to do with us being the children of the light going to war against the children of darkness. That's what that's about. All right, so Novalunium, the thin crescent moon seen in the western sky shortly after sunset, a few days after the actual occurrence, of, i.e., dark appearance or dark side phase, the new moon, interlunium. You see how it comes right back to interlunium. You see that? So those words are important. This phrase, knowing, and look, this is why I like etymology. This is why I was like, oh, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that this book, it says what? Interlunium period. The interlunium is the time between the waxing and the waning moon. It is the 13th day. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Let me read that again. The interlunium is the time between the waning and the waxing moon. It is the 30th day when the moon does not shine. Oh, so that phase has a name. But let's do even one better. Let's go to Psalm chapter 81 now. And let's prove it in Psalms chapter 81. Now, new moon is a Qadash Yawam Lanawa. It is a holy day to us. I remember when Mozart first woke me up and I really didn't know how to read all like that so well. I was like, let's go to the book of Psalms. What? The book of Psalms, brother. You know what I'm talking about, brother.
Palms, brother. Take palms.
Palms. I thought I was doing good too. Psalms. I was speaking Hebrew. Yeah, that's right before the book of Proverbs. All right. Psalm chapter 81. We're going to start at verse 1, and then we're just going to do a quick, a very brief. And remember, we also have family members that are online, so we're going to show them what it says online. Psalm chapter 81, verse 1 through verse 3. Somebody want to bring that out?
Psalms chapter 81 and verse 1. It says, sing aloud unto Elohim our strength. Make a joyful noise unto the Elohim of Jacob. Take a psalm and bring hither the timbrel at the pleasant harp with the psaltery.
Psaltery.
Blow up the trumpet in the new moon.
Blow up the what?
The trumpet in the new moon.
Blow up the trumpet in the new moon. Read.
In the time appointed.
In the time when?
Appointed.
Now, the important word that's right here is the word appointed. All right. New moon is important too. But let's see what the word appointed means in this specific verse. Now, for those of us who, a few of us have already done this, you know. All right. So, but if you're watching online or if you're looking at the screen that's in front of us, I'm going to click on this phrase right here, which is, you want to read that? Can you read this in Hebrew for us? These four characters? Become? All right. What's this one in the front? Good job. So, ba, and then what?
Kasa.
Who?
Kasa.
Perfect. Because I thought you said Kasa A.
What's the
I said both.
Oh, you said both?
I say both.
Okay. And see, the important part about this is that in the verse, it shows you it's Kasa. But it doesn't say Kasa A. Now, this is where it gets tricky at, all right? Because when you come down here, it says, in the time appointed. It says, this is ba. Ba means what at the beginning of a verse? In. Did you say that? Oh, you said that. Okay, you said that? Okay, in. So it says in kasah. But look down here, this is where people get confused at because they see this word that says kasa'ah. All right, kasa'ah and kasah looks very familiar. It looks very, very similar. The only thing that's missing, what's the difference in kasah and kasa'ah? What's the difference? Shaddad. Oh, I didn't know that. You can't see it? Okay, I didn't know that. What you got?
So can you say again?
What's the difference in between these two words? Look similar. Just these characters. All right. Ka, sa, and ha, and kasa'ah. These two words look similar. What's the only difference in this word and this word? The character difference.
That one right there.
The bottom one? Okay, what about it?
It's
I'll show you. It's okay. Yeah, I'll show you. You want to explain, please?
Con, which point you highlighted?
Yeah.
So you got the bet in the front, which is the Hebrew word in, and it has the kamat underneath it that makes the ah sound. And then you have the what is that? The kop, right? And it has the sagol underneath it. So it's gonna make an S sound. We're using the vowel, so it's going, you know, the vowel points you have I, E, E, O, U. So the word's not really going to say kasa. We say that in ancient Hebrew, but it says kase. Yeah, kase. So the other difference here in the words are the last letter.
Man, you make that so more confusing, bro. I'm over here in my head. I'm like, come on, wrap it up, bro.
I like the awkward moments, man. The last letter is a hey on ba kasa, and the underneath it, it's a aleph, so a lap or a It's a left, man. I gotta go by the modern Hebrew because you got modern Hebrew on the board, bro. I mean on the computer, so it's that left.
So ultimately, what were you saying?
Ultimately, I was saying there's
I'm sorry. I want to be funny.
two different letters.
Two different letters at the end. And see, and that's exactly what it is. Like Shatar, Washapati, how much I said.
I had a board. And it would be a lot
Right, yeah. Well, yeah, it would be. So ultimately, like Shatar, how much I said, and this is why everybody, you two over there, all right, which are under my jurisdiction, you three over there, which are under my jurisdiction and authority, you have to learn Hebrew. You have to learn your paleo. You have to learn your modern, because this changes everything in understanding how to break words down. Okay, so like Yahushai said, actually Shatar Washapat, all right, officer and judge Yahushai. What he said was this character on the end and this character on the end is the only difference. Okay, don't pay attention to this character. This word ba, that means in. All right, so we're gonna ignore that. But look, ka, sa, ha, ah. So ka, sa, ha, ka, sa, ah. Now, this helps you when you go down here. This helps you to break down the verse. But the way that the verse is written, now, here's our phrase right here. Does it say kasa'ah or does it say kasah?
That says kasah.
It says kasah. Because in the actual verse, the word that's used is not the secondary word. It's the root word that's used here. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this. And kasah, all right? We're going to go to the Strongs on it. Now, this is where people get confused at, because they see this word, kasa'ah. When you scroll down, there's only one definition. Here's the one definition. It says full moon. So they run with that one word. They're like, oh, look, brother, the word means full moon. But if you scroll down, you got your Jasinian Yahushai? May we see it, please? Everybody that's in our community needs to have this book, all right? Everybody that's in our community needs to have this book. Go ahead, please. Now, you go ahead, edify. Go ahead, edify.
You have to find in the what's the strong concordance number?
The concordance number is Salaklia. It's
H3677.
H3677. So the name, write this name down. GESENIUS. It looks like genius, but it's Jasinius. If you're a part of this community, we practice speaking our language so we can. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that our family is together. As a family, we build, and we got experience together. We got time frame together, good and bad. We got good and bad family community together. And don't y'all know there's some communities that some Israelite congregations, they don't come together as a family like we do. They don't. They do on certain occasions, but not like this. And this is our elders. They put us on this foundation to help us to stay together. All right. So I just looked around. My heart got happy, man. So Jasinius, everybody needs to have this book, Jasinius, just as much as Levi needs to have the Judean Discovery Scrolls. All right. So Jasinius was a master historian when it came to the linguistics. How shall I go ahead, brother, please?
So Kasa'ah with the Kaf, the Semek, and the left, it says an unused root word, IQ, to cover. They going down to the Kasa'ah. It reads, it's the first day of the full moon, also the whole time of the full moon. And so it is often used by, what is that?
That's Bar, which means son, Herbares. But I might be saying his name wrong, but he was another linguistic that was just like Jasinius. So I went and looked up his book.
Okay.
Boom. No, I'm saying
no.
Yeah, con. Yeah, so Josinius's references another fellow linguistic. Con. Whenever you're ready, Elder.
That's a great con. In Ephraim Cyrus, the etymology is not clear to me, for it is not satisfactory to say that it is so called from the whole moon being then covered with light.
Boom. So what did Josinius just say? He said, that's what I heard them say, but I ain't satisfied with the answer saying that this word is used for the moon being covered with light. But IUIC and a few other brothers, they go straight to this word, and they don't do what Yahushai did. They don't do what our community does and go deeper and look in Jasinius. See, the scripture says, ask thy fathers, they will tell thee, thy elders, and they what? The elders, and they will show thee. All right? So we have been taught to go further back. Don't be satisfied with that answer. You got something?
It continues to read. It says, verbs of covering are often applied in the sense of hiding and covering over, but never, as far as I know, to that of giving light.
Boom. So he says, as far as I know, I've never heard that this verb is used for giving light. It's used for covering. It's a verb. It's an action word. So you have a chair right there, and nobody's sat in the chair. The sunlight, the skylight, the moonlight, whatever, it's going to land on that chair. But then as soon as you sit on that chair, the chair is now covered. So there was a brother that I was talking to him. You okay, Levi? Yeah, all praise. All right. All right. All praise. Yeah, man. The scripture says the workman is worthy of his hire. So if you're hired right now as your rest, then take your rest. It's the Chaadash, man. You feel me?
To the end.
All praise, man. He endured to the end, man. Levi, man, you go hard. So the point is this right here. There was a brother that threw this out to me. He was like, "Nah, it also means throne." I was like, "Well, if you cover a throne, the throne is now covered." It was like, "Stop it." Yeah. So. Awkward, brother. Awkward. Hey, awkward. Gad, awkward. Tomahawk, awkward. I gotta be one of the most racist tribal driver. I'll be like, ain't that right? It's a car. Wake up, Levi. I don't even call brothers by their names. I just say tribes. We've been knowing each other for years. We just call brothers by tribes. But we was in boot camp. In boot camp in Tijuana, one of the hardest boot camps ever, because it was more of a spiritual boot camp than it was just a physical. Physical, I'll be like, "Ah, man, that sucks. I don't like doing it, but I'm gonna do it. I ain't good at it, but I'm gonna do it." Spiritual though, that's way harder than physical. Like whenever your feelings get hurt, do we back down? Give me the book of Sirach chapter 4, verse 20. Everybody get Sirach chapter 4:20. All right, Sirach chapter 4. Get Sirach chapter 4:20. Spiritual is always going to be harder than physical tests. All right, Sirach chapter 4, verse 20. And those, like Levi just said, we got to endure to the end. All right, Sirach chapter 4. Don't nobody read it ahead of time. All right, everybody there? Yeah, Sirach chapter 4, verse 20. All right. Start at verse 19.
This is the book of Sirach 4, verse 19. It says, "But if he goes wrong, she will forsake him and give him over to his own ruin."
So it's talking about wisdom. If you go off, wisdom will forsake you and leave you, man. Brothers talking about being vegans, and now them Negroes is gone. Gone. Like who? Like we who? Huh?
Plant-based lamb.
Plant-based lamb. So wisdom forsook them brothers. But let's see what this next part say. Go ahead.
Verse 20. It says, observe the opportunity.
Observe the opportunity. When you see somebody coming again, when you see you got a problem with somebody else, not what they doing. When I see, man, Shaddad, man, I don't even know if I want to come to the Shabbat today because that brother Shaddad, man, he lived right down the street. He ain't even come over, man. He ain't spend no time with me or nothing, man. I don't even know if I want to go to this. I don't even know if I feel like driving to Columbus, man. Levi don't even call me, man. The twins, man, they done blew up. They are the Torah twins now. They all balling now. They got their own meat. See? So it's not when somebody else does. It's when I feel a certain way. Yahweh said, did everybody notice I didn't use Yahweh Shai as example in this one? And the reason being is because we minister together, and sometimes there is a friction that Yahweh challenges. It's a challenge, but we always work very good together. So I didn't use Yahweh Shai as an example. I used everybody else. All right. And I always repent when I know when I go too far, when I hurt his feelings. And it makes me so sad when I make Yahweh Shai upset, this brother, because we're ministers, we're brothers. All right. So with that, I use everybody else as an example. All right. So whenever somebody offends you, your job is to do what? Read it.
He says, observe the opportunity.
Observe the opportunity. What does observe mean? Watch for the opportunity. Peek for the opportunity. Man, look out for it. Observe the opportunity. Do what?
And beware of evil.
Beware of evil. So now we're getting instructions. Observe the opportunity. Beware of evil. Do what?
And be not ashamed.
Be not what?
Ashamed.
Be not what?
Ashamed.
When it what?
when it concerneth thy soul.
Who else's soul?
Thy soul.
Somebody else's soul.
Thy soul.
No, but he did.
Thy
no,
soul.
she did.
Thy
no,
soul.
but it's their fault.
Thy soul.
My own soul. So do right even when it hurts. Observe the opportunity, beware of evil, and be not ashamed when it concerns thy own soul. We'll never lose if we always be the first to sacrifice. Mm-hmm. Run to the altar. Run to be the one to be like, don't even be like, yo, whatever. Hey, man, you messed up, but I'm going to apologize first. No. Hey, I messed up. I'm going to apologize first because it ain't about what you did. It's about what I did or how I took it or how I. And sometimes you ain't got to explain. Just walk by the house and drop off a cold-ass chicken for no reason. Just do something weird and random that nobody explains. But you know in your heart you love this brother or sister, or I'm just going to go in here. I don't got no reason. I'm just going to wash the dishes, whatever. All right? Sirach chapter 4, verse 20. Everybody should know that because it's a heart healer. This is a heart healer. Beware of evil. Observe the opportunity and be not ashamed when it concerns somebody else's soul. Nah, don't nod your head. Nah, B, don't nod your head, King. Don't. But that ain't what I said. But that ain't what the scripture said.
I know. I'm thinking back. I know what you're saying.
What I say?
You said,
let me do it again.
Somebody else's soul.
Right, but it's what?
Your own soul.
It concerns your own soul. Be quick to apologize, quick to fix the situation. Because at the end of the day, as they say, when everything is all said and done, you're gonna feel so good from the bliss that Yahweh will give you from your efforts. Because it's about our relationship with Him, not our relationship with people that's around us. Everybody got problems. Everybody going through something. We don't know who got heartbreak and they just smiling to make it through the day. But if I can take it one step further and take my hurt along with your hurt, and then do you know how that would make me feel so good if I was rude to you, but then you were so back nice to me. How Shai said, it'd be like what? It'd be like heaping hot coals on the head. So we gotta do better. We gotta do better at being more submissive and being better servants to each other. That's how our community is gonna stand. That's how our family is going to stand. Because if you stop working and now I'm offended at you, then I'm going to stop working and I don't want to talk to him because I'm mad at you. And then he ain't going to want to talk to me. And then he is going to talk to him. And now he going to have a problem with me. Yahweh Shai said, blessed be the peacemakers, which Lakam will be. Lakam will be like, yo, man, you going to hell off. And then it's going to be like, and then Malak gonna come and be like, "What's going on with this?" Anybody got anything you want to say before we go forward? My objective was to say, kill yourselves, kill ourselves, allow ourselves to be hurt. Wait, I missed it. What happened?
Kill yourself.
The message is to kill you. Wait a minute, brother. Drink the Kool-Aid on the Sabbath, brother. Here's my special oil, brother. No, listen, because Paul said, "I die daily," right? So allow ourselves. You gotta do your duties, man. We no shame in it, man. We love you. You kept the holy day, man. Yo, man, you a staple in this community. Don't fade, don't falter, don't go away, and bring many, but save souls. You a staple. I remember when we met, man. That man was locked in. He was in the zone. And you know what I kept did when we was teaching? I kept looking around you. I kept looking over you, but I knew you was there. But you know why I kept looking over you? I want to see how long he was gonna stay. That man stayed to the end. Most I'll be with you, Gary. All things. What contract you about to do right now? Amazon? Okay. Right. Yo, you want to play before you go? Yeah, make it to go play for the hour before you go. Baba, what's your
Travels.
Need some fringes on that coat, man. You going off, right? Most I said on your outer vesture. We don't do that around here. We put fringes on our outer, fringes on top of fringes, man. You going the hell off, man. What if them chariots came right now? They be like, oh, nope.
Take that.
All right. So what do we see? Yahweh gives us instructions. He says, beware of evil. He says, observe the opportunity. The first thing you got to do is peep it. Peep it when the vibration is off. Peep it when it's somebody else. Because other times it's all joy. It's all good. But when you see it's off, and then what do? If we see a vibration is off, do we match that energy? That's wicked as hell. But that's what people been saying lately. I'm just matching your energy. Yeah. That's wicked as hell. No, you don't. Why would you match me with something? Maybe I'm saying I need help. Huh? You guilty of that? Okay, amen. All praise. All praise. Hallelujah. 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 Because the scripture says he that covereth the sin shall not prosper. We gotta confess those things so we don't match energy. When a woman raised her voice, what do? Now we be like, sit down and don't you ever them. That's what we do, right? Is that what we do? That's not what we do. We observe. How can I fix the situation? How can I heal? Because ultimately, my end goal is to caress and bring things to where we need things to be. And I used to be guilty of that. All right. I had no problem going to the extreme to get my point across. But what I ended up doing was hurting myself in the end until I learned to be more gentle. And the more gentle I became, the more I would have to allow my feelings to be hurt. And then Yahweh healed me. See? But the end result is I got friends and family around me right now. Right? Come. So observe the opportunity, beware of evil, and be not ashamed when it concerns somebody else's soul. I can't believe how many brothers just nodded.
Thy own soul.
Okay. All right. Ashamed when it concerns somebody else's soul.
Thy own soul.
Right. Be not ashamed when it concerns your own. So I shouldn't be ashamed to be like, man, I'm sorry. Man, look, I love apologizing because it breaks my heart. It fixes me every time I do. So be not ashamed when it concerns my own soul. All right, so let's get back to the scripture real quick, and I'm going to end it off. Shatar Yahushai has got some wonderful head shakes, and they're so skillful that it's just communicative. All right, so now why is for us Psalms 81 so important? Why is for us Psalms 81 so important? I close that door. Not to Zara. Close that door. Not to Zara. And then anybody that's coming around, make sure that everybody go around the door. Okay. 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 So yeah. So leave it like that, and then come over on one of the other sides because they about to walk through with the food. I don't want to be on nobody's way. Everything be all right. Everything be all right. So why is Psalms chapter 81 so important for us? Because let's get back to it now. That was the word kasa'ah. And kasa'ah, everybody focus. We back at it. All right. So kasa'ah, what's up? What you thinking, Qam? What's up? Okay. Yeah, no, man. No, yeah. I'm with you. All right. So now we went from kasa'ah. Now let's go to the root word of kasa'ah, which is kasah. And Yahushua has the ancient book, and he's going to bring it out from the ancient book. That's Hebrew. Write this down, y'all. H3680. Write down H3680 under, close to, or near the word interlinear, or write it near, close to the word new moon, or write it close to the word inferior conjunction. Because kasah means, now you're right here. Kasah means inferior conjunction. Kasah means interlunium moon. All right, and then I'll let the elder bring it out whenever he's ready. Of course.
the half moons would be called different half moons.
That's first quarter and third quarter. Sometimes they would say first quarter and last quarter. But that's just the modern terminology. I challenge you. What's the ancient terminology? And then come back and teach everybody. Yeah, that's the wrong word. I haven't gotten there yet. So this is where my studies stopped at. Excellent question. But you know what? Interlunium Moon would have been Kasai. Yeah. But yeah, because it's the same name and the same thing. It's the same name and the same phase that's using the same thing.
Is this the beginning? Right. And then it goes like this. Clockwise.
If you start at the beginning of the month, then yeah. Well, yeah. This would be the beginning. Right. First of the month.
No, yeah, you're right. That's what we need. So we can prove or disprove. You're right.
Waxing crescent is the first crescent, right?
Yes. Waxing means coming on. Waning means going away. So yeah, so follow it from waxing going to waning. All right, let's get Psalms chapter 81, Baba Kusha, and let's finish getting this understanding real quick.
This is day one, and then it goes this
all the way around.
And it goes back.
Yeah. So the way it's easily broken down is that it's 8 phases, but each one of those 8 phases has sub phases. So you get it. You know what I'm saying? Just get that for now, and then more will come. More will definitely come. And then don't hesitate on looking up as much as you can every night. It's the other night. I was tripping. The moon was so big. I was like, whoa, yeah. And to know that I know what phase this is now. That feels good. Don't ask me 7 times 6, but I know what that phase is. You said 14, 42, 42. 42.
Constellation.
Never forget that name.
Because I think it was King Solomon knew the constellations as well, the circle of stars. And it's a part of the gifted in that area. So I could look into that. Man. I'm on it. I'm into astronomy, not astrology, but astronomy.
Yeah, you don't want to astrology.
All right, let's go ahead and what we got, Yahushua? We waiting on you.
All right, but so we get into H36.
You reading Slot? Okay, Slot. Yeah. Yeah, amen. All praise. I be putting the books on their backs. All right, this is gonna keep them asleep.
This is H3680, and it's dealing with Kasa. All right, to cover over. Kindred roots, Kasa'a and Kasha. Also to put on.
So you reading from Jusinius, correct? Okay, I apologize. We wasn't caught up. Okay, we're there with you now. All right. Kasa, to cover over. We're listening.
Come. Also deals with Kasa'a and Kasha. All right. Which means to cover, hence to be hidden, concealed. And called, it is only found in part Kasa, Proverbs 12, 16, 23, and Kasawa Ya.
Great job.
Is Psalms 32, 1. Much more frequently used is Kasa, which is to cover, followed by hence in Exodus 10:5, Numbers 9:15, Numbers 22, verse 5, or by I'll, like other verbs.
Like how it's more I'll. Right. Wow. If you have anything else?
That was it.
Okay. Okay. So
dealing with covering.
Yeah, dealing with covering. Right. So, and then the first definition that we seen, he says, as far as I've seen, it doesn't mean to be covered with light. So now here's why Kasah is so important to us. How many definitions was there for Kasa'ah? No, it wasn't. For Kasa'ah. Huh? Okay, so for Kasa'ah, it was only one. It was only one. But then when you go to Kasah, you got 1, A, B, and C, D, and E. So the root word has more meaning. And all of the root word means to be covered. to cover, overwhelm, to spread over, for protection, to conceal, to clothe, to be covered, to what? To what?
Hide.
To hide. So this is why we go to the word, and that's, remember when we had pulled it up at first, I had showed the sentence, and I said, look, y'all, in the sentence it says bakasah. And I said, this is where people get confused, because when you click on it, it takes you automatically to kasa'ah. But in the verse, it says bakasah. So it takes you to the root word that's right there, which means to conceal, to cover, to hide. Now look at this. For new moon, it says cover. It's used, the word cover is used 135 times. Hide 6 times. Conceal 4 times. Covering 2 times. Overwhelmed 2 times. Clad. If something is clad, do you think it's open or it's closed?
Closed.
The next word is what?
Closed.
1 time. Or the moon to be what? Clothed. Clothed with darkness. So there's no, now, we had one brother who we love and we respect. This brother said, well, that doesn't mean that the moon is covered. It means to blow the trumpet when the sun goes down, when it's nighttime. Now the day is covered with night. Parazah said, there's so many holes in your, and then so I don't want to speak negatively because I love that brother. We're not respecters of persons though. So therefore, with that being said, this conversation didn't make sense. It didn't line up with what we're reading, and now we all know how to read for ourselves. So what I personally think was that conversation might have been given based off of the respectful stance that some brothers are at now, opposed to where other brothers are at later. You think I'll go to council for that one, or was that okay?
That was good.
So, yeah, man. Yeah, right. So, but listen, that verse that's there says kasah. It says bakasah. And every word that we just looked at for bakasah means to be covered up. And what Lacombe just read, as far as for the new moon from Jacinius, is covered up. So we know that David was not out there during waxing crescent. I don't know the Hebrew phrase for waxing crescent. That's powerful. If we can learn that. What's the Hebrew phrase for waxing crescent? What's the Hebrew phrase for now I do know this. When you look it up in Arabic, the Arabic word, and I don't remember the Arabic word at this time, but the Arabic word goes right back to kasah. It means black moon. Huh?
Fully covered.
Fully covered. Yeah, it means fully covered. Right? And that's powerful. So there we are. I yield the floor on that specific subject. All right. Any questions? Anybody? Okay. So new moon for Yasharahla is a high holy day. It's a high holy convocation. All right. All right. LOL for that. So for us, new moon is a high holy convocation. Rosh want to know what it is, so when I asked that question, she put an LOL. Like, you think I'll go to? She put a So for us, new moon is a high holy convocation. Now, what's something that we're commanded to do during the convocation? Blow the trumpet, right? And what else? Gather.
I was going to say gather.
Gather. What else? Sacrifice. All right. Now we can't sacrifice right now. But we can blow the trumpet, and we can also do what? Out of the options that we were just given, we can blow the trumpet, and we can do what?
Gather.
Is it an option to gather? Wait, not really? Or wait, boy, you going off? Hey, man, you ain't checking? I thought you was going to check him like nothing. No? If you tell me, you excluded, though. All right, you a good big brother. All right. So for Chaadash, for the Shabbat, for the other convocational time frames, Yahweh commanded us to gather. All right, so I yield the floor. I pray that this information was helpful. Make sure y'all look up those words, Novalunium, look up Interlunium. Now, here's something funny. When you look up Interlunium, it's going to come up a Chinese, Japanese animation rock band. Yeah. Yeah, that's what's going to come up. So therefore, you got to take your research just a little bit deeper. All right. And that's what we get commended for by Yahweh, because our family don't mind digging deep and putting each other on charge. You know, we don't mind looking at each other and being like, you know, hey, brother, what's up with this? You know, you know. So with that being said, that's all I have. I yield the floor. Y'all brought Qam Yasharahla. Chaadash Shalam. I yield the floor to Shatar Wa Shapat, Yahweh Shai, Joshua Isaac, MC. All right, is that it? Anybody else? Anybody got anything you want to bring up? Okay, all praise, hallelujah. And there it is. All right, all praise, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. All praise. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All right, so we're also commanded on a new moon to feast and to eat together and to enjoy ourselves. So I'm going to leave the camera up, but I'm going to put it on me. All right. I'm going to leave the camera up, but I'm going to put it on me. But everybody, just keep in mind that the communities will still be able to be a part of our new moon convocation time frame. All right.
Judith 8 and 6.
Judith 8 and 6. This dude.
Now you want to
Man, that's what I be talking about, man. That's what I be talking about, man. Judith 8 and 6. All right, here. Let me bring it up. All right, everybody grab Judith chapter 8, verse 6. Javian, are y'all coach or do y'all want to operate with Aquatian?
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
Are these two right here, are they called the first quarter and the third quarter?
They are.
Okay.
Excellent. So first quarter is when it's waxing and it's starting to get bright. That's the first quarter. And then third quarter is the opposite side when it's starting to get halfway dark. So after third quarter, you're gonna start going into waning crescent. We're gonna be expecting that Mayan chart from you, okay? Yeah,
I can get it.
Aztec chart, right? Azteca, man. He said, wait a minute.
Constellation.
You said you're going to?
I like to study witches. Understand those seven stars.
I said every new moon, I feel like we go over the same thing, but I learn so much more every time.
Every time.
This time especially.
Do you all feel the same way with the Torah portion? Every time, every week, yo, every week, I'll be like, yo, and sometimes I feel kind of off. Like, how did I miss that last time? Huh? Like with Aaron. How we always forget. Like. Because we got that daggone Disney image. That's how. All right, so this is the book of Judith, chapter 8, verse 6, and it reads, and she fasted all the days of her widowhood, save the eves of the Shabbats and the Shabbats and the eves of the new moons and the new moons. And she fasted and solemn days, and the feast and solemn days of the house of Israel.
So this is showing you that Judith, during her time of mourning, she was fasting. But when it came to the Sabbaths, it came to the new moons and the feast, because we're required to eat and feast, you know, she ate during those times. And she was in a joyful spirit, because the scriptures say that this is our days of gladness.
Let
So
me
we're
laugh.
supposed to have the spirit of joy on us, which is a fruit of the spirit. So we're supposed to obtain that spirit of joy on us.
Right.
If you're tired, you know, we gotta go to work tomorrow. You know, the Most High gave this moment to observe and be joyful.
So remember, it's also illegal for us to be unhappy on the feast days.
Right.
And so if I got a problem on a feast day, if you got a problem on a feast day, It's up to us to check ourselves because it's illegal for us to be unhappy on the feast days. Why? Because Yahweh gave us those feast days to be able to celebrate and rejoice. All right? Not for us to still be dealing with our own issues, because that's still me doing my own ways, right? That's me thinking my own ways, doing my own thoughts. But give me that Josephus over here. All right? Which is another thing. And like for our family, this household specifically, we don't get, just him on to me. We don't spank children on the Shabbat. You know, they're going to get it after sundown. After sundown, they're going to get it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, see, when the sun go down, player, I'm gang banging on you then. Oh, yeah, you going to try to play us? In a double portion of this leather blessing. I heard that whooping, a leather blessing. You get a double portion of this leather blessing.
Know that they try to take advantage of that, like in a public place, in the store, they try to act up with you and find and all do all that. Nah. The scripture said don't be ashamed, right? Not to get, you know,
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Correcting your child.
The scriptures tell us to not listen to their cries.
I like that shirt over here. Oh, you gotta go to the bathroom, huh?
Wait, but that's another reason why we gotta learn them pressure points too. I be pressure pointing children all the time. Don't nobody be knowing what be going on. I just be smiling like I don't know.
He joking. He joking. YouTubers, he joking.
I gotta prove it. You know, we don't bruise all that easy. We don't bruise. I hold a smooth conversation with a person on pressure pointing. Them bright ones, you just gotta know where to pressure point them. You gotta pressure point them in places you can't see. Yeah. That's your homegirl, ain't she? Yeah, that's your baby. I know. Right? And then when they be like, well, let me check. You're not lifting up on my baby's shirt. How dare you? Help! That's when you turn into the victim. Take that baby home, put him in some bath salt water. Now 2 days, then you bring him out. That's it. Say again. You're damn right. All right, let's look at this. So this is Flavius Josephus, Antiquities of the Jews. This is book 11, and this is book 11, chapter 5. But when Ezra saw them in that disposition, he bade them to go home and to not weep, for that it was a festival, and that they ought not to weep thereon, for it was not lawful so to do. He exhorted them rather to proceed evenly to feasting and to do what is suitable on a feast. What do we do on a feast? There you go. Play music, you eat, you enjoy yourself. You got any board games? Yeah. Was that a real question? Well, yeah, right. We do board games, right? No. Say Abba. Say Abba. Ma! So on a feast day, we do what's suitable to do on a feast day. We celebrate, we enjoy ourselves, we kicks it, we swangs, we eats. Everybody on every new moon, nobody on moon should be hungry. It's always too much food. The problem will be is if you did what? If you isolated yourself. That's where the problem will come in. Because you didn't get a chance to do what Yahweh commanded you to do, which was what? Which was to gather. All right? Ooh. I'm kosher. I'm good. All right. So with that being said, Yabra Qam Yasharahla. That's it for us. Shalom. Chaadash Shalam. Now it's time for us to enjoy ourselves. Shalom.